The miracle of Eutychus's resurrection. It was late at night in the city of Troas, where believers had gathered to listen to the Apostle Paul. It was Sunday, the day when Christians broke bread and remembered the Lord together. Paul, who was planning to leave the city the next day, began preaching. He spoke passionately, explaining the scriptures, and his words captivated the audience. However, as time passed, the sermon stretched until midnight. The room was filled with the glow of numerous lamps, the air grew heavy, and fatigue began to take over. Among the listeners was a young man named Eutychus, who had settled on a windowsill on the third floor. His eyes slowly closed, his head nodded, and his body grew more relaxed. Eventually, he fell into a deep sleep. The spirit indeed is willing, but the flesh is weak. Matthew 26:41. At one moment, Eutychus swayed and lost his balance. A loud thud broke the silence. He had fallen straight down. The people rushed outside in horror and found him lying motionless on the ground. His body showed no signs of life. Grief filled the hearts of those present, but Paul, without hesitation, ran to the young man. He knelt down, embraced him, and declared, "Do not be troubled, for his life is in him." Acts 20:10. And at that very moment, a miracle happened. The boy came back to life. The people could hardly believe their eyes. Instead of mourning, joyful shouts filled the air, and everyone praised God for his great mercy. As if nothing had happened, Paul returned to the upper room, continued teaching the believers, and even shared a meal with them. He preached until morning and then left the city. For he is not the God of the dead, but of the living, for all live to him. Luke 20, verse 38. The young man was taken home alive and unharmed. That day, everyone present became witnesses to God's power and his care for each of us. Why is this story important? It demonstrates God's power, which can even raise the dead. It teaches us to listen carefully to God's word, even when it lasts long. It emphasizes that God cares for everyone, even a young man who accidentally fell asleep. This story reminds us that God works even in the most unexpected moments of our lives.